Golfers, do you want to hit the ball further with your driver off the tee? Of course you do. Why wouldn't you? Lucky for you, I have 5 simple tips that are going to guarantee that you hit the ball further and more consistent. So make sure you stick with me for the whole video. My name is Maggie Simons, but my friends call me Mags for short because I help them master a great swing. So let's get straight to these 5 tips that are going to help you bomb the golf ball. Step number 1 to hitting bombs with your driver has to do with our setup, namely our ball position. Our setup with our driver is completely different than it is with our iron. So you want to make sure that you're not setting up the same way as you would with an 8-iron. With a driver, it's the one club in our bag that we're trying to actually hit up on. The ball's on the tee, we're trying to catch the ball on the upswing so that we can get high launch, low spin, maximize our distance. In order to catch the ball in that part of our golf swing, we have to change our ball position. So we have to move the ball position more forward in our stance, and I'm going to show you what that looks like. So I have these alignment sticks here as a good visual for where our ball position is going to be in relationship to our feet. With our irons, for the short irons, the ball is typically in the middle of our heels, so that way we can naturally catch that ball as the club is swinging down our swing circle and hit the ground. With our driver, we are not trying to do that. We are trying to catch the ball as the club is starting to swing up. So in order to catch that ball naturally in that position, we're going to move our ball position more forward, so that now that lowest point of our swing circle is going to be in the air somewhere in the middle part of our stance, and now we're naturally going to catch that ball as it's starting to swing back up that swing circle. And again, that is crucial to get high launch and low spin. So you can see that this alignment stick is kind of right inside of my left heel, maybe right inside of my left shoulder here is a good point, but definitely forward of center so that I can hit up on that ball and launch it up super high. So we're going to hit a bomb right here. Okay, so that attack angle was positive 4.2, hit up on the ball 4 degrees, which is exactly what we want with a driver to help maximize our distance. Step number 2 to maximize your distance with a driver has to do with shoulder tilt. We have to make sure, since we are trying to hit up on the golf ball, that in our setup, we have our shoulders tilted back away from the target. That's going to help that club work up and launch that ball up in the air. A lot of times what I see with my students is when they do move the ball position forward, they'll end up moving their body, trying to get their eyes in the center of their body over the ball. So now you can see how my shoulders are very level. That can cause me to swing down, and you're going to lose a lot of distance and maybe even hit a nice big slice. So we have to make sure that when we do move the ball position forward, I like to kind of bring my right hand in underneath the club here. You can see that that right shoulder is lower than the left. I don't want to feel like your weight is hanging out back there. We can be about 50-50 with our weight, but it is going to feel like your head is going to be behind the ball. And when we come back into impact, even though our pressure's forward, we're going to feel like our head is going to continue to be behind the ball, and we're going to have this nice shoulder tilt with that right shoulder lower than the left. Again, encouraging that upward attack angle that is going to help us maximize our distance. So ball positions forward. I'm not going to come in with level shoulders. I'm going to get that right shoulder lower. Spine is tilted away from the target. Now I'm going to launch one. High and far, if you like that kind of thing, right? So attack angle was up. So that means that I know that that ball position and my shoulder tilt was in a great spot. Step number 3 to hit the ball far, we have to relieve our body of tension. Now that's really hard because I find with myself and with my students, when they're intentionally trying to swing a little faster, intentionally trying to maybe hit a bomb on a reachable par 5 with a wide open fairway, they actually add tension to their grip pressure, to their arms, because they're gonna try really hard. But that actually is gonna slow us down. If you think of a pitcher that's throwing the ball 100 miles an hour, if they have tension in their arm's not gonna be able to swing very fast, right? And if they can't swing the arm fast, the ball's not gonna come out very fast. So same thing, we need to remember when we are trying to hit it far and we're trying to really try hard to do it, we have to actually loosen ourselves up so that we can be a little bit more athletic and get more speed with our muscles. So a great way to do this is especially if you watch long drive guys, you know, the guys that hit it the absolute furthest, you notice before they're hitting, they're moving, their body's moving. As soon as we get static and we start to stand over the ball, start to try too hard, start to think too much, we get a lot of tension in our entire body. So if we kind of try the Cal Berkshire, the Brysons, as they're about to hit a long drive, they're loose. Their body is already in motion. And so that kind of feel my feet rocking, feel my arms, hand grip pressure nice and loose. And I'm not gonna let a lot of time elapse before I hit the golf ball. Bombed it. Step number 4 to hitting longer drives is hitting the middle of the club face. Probably the most underestimated way to get more distance is to actually hit the center of the club face. If you hit the heel, that is the biggest distance killer. With the same amount of club head speed, you lose a ton of ball speed and you get a little bit more of a kind of a slice spin for a right-handed golfer. So making sure that we are hitting the sweet spot is crucial to making sure that we're maximizing our distance and can be consistent. I'm gonna hit one off the heel on purpose to show you what numbers I get. And then I'm gonna try to hit a centered strike one and we'll see what it does to the numbers distance-wise. So you can see the difference in distance when I hit the center of the club face was an additional 13 yards of carry distance with swinging the same miles an hour with the club. So last but certainly not least, step number 5 to hit the ball further, we need to use the ground properly. There's a lot of research these days of the longest hitters and how they are using the ground to get more club head speed and power. So what does using the ground mean? Essentially, for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. So you watch Bryson when he was doing his long drive stuff. You watch Cal Berkshire when he's trying to absolutely bomb it. They unweight themselves. You'll see they actually kind of stand up a little bit in their backswing, so that way they can really push down into the ground. And now they can have more force to be able to push out of the ground, and that will give us more speed that goes into our arms and the club head through impact. So the more that we can unweight, weight, and really kind of jump out of the ground, we're gonna add a lot of speed. So I'm actually gonna hit a few shots where I really try to exaggerate that, not really caring where the ball goes, but when you're practicing speed, you wanna practice it like you would just a certain part of your game. So if you're practicing your short putts, okay, you're just gonna work on your 3-footers. Or if you're working on hitting a big draw, right, we're gonna set up appropriately. So speed, we need to practice and train our bodies just the way we would any other part of our golf game. So if we're really working on building speed and getting stronger, then we might not get the best results, but we're training our muscles to swing faster, and that's what we need to do when we're training speed. So I'm gonna hit a few shots, kind of pretending like I'm in a long drive contest where I'm really gonna exaggerate, kind of a little bit longer hand path. I'm gonna unweight myself. I'm really gonna feel like I'm pushing into the ground and then really jumping up and out of the ground. And we're gonna see what happens to my speed numbers. Okay, so I'm gonna take a practice swing here and really feel like I'm unweighting, weighting, and then really pushing up and back like Bryson likes to do. Woo! That was hit. Definitely felt faster. Am I gonna swing that fast on a normal day? No. But if I can train myself to swing faster here, then I am training my muscles to be stronger, right? If I go do 10 bicep curls at the gym, is it gonna make a huge difference? No, but over time, as I'm training, I'm gonna get stronger and I'm gonna get faster. And so then my kind of average stock swing is gonna start to get faster as well. So training speed like you would any other part of your game is gonna help you hit the ball further as well. So there's the 5 tips to help you hit your driver further. We're going to make sure our ball position is forward. We're gonna make sure we have shoulders tilted away from the target. We're gonna make sure that we don't have tension in our swing, that we're nice and loose. We're keeping some movement. We're not getting too static over the golf ball. We're gonna monitor our strike position, make sure that we're hitting the center of the club face to maximize our ball speed and our distance. And then finally, we're gonna train for speed by learning how to use the ground better and properly so that we can maximize our club head speed and our distance. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments if these tips were helpful for you. And please subscribe to my channel so that I can continue to make videos like this for you every week. If you want to work with me one-on-one, you can go to the link in the description and to work with me through Skillest. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you later.